To you all, welcome to the English News Bulletin. Hope you had a blessed week. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the news edition. We'll begin with the headlines. The Prime Minister of Rwanda, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, highlighted that increased cooperation among African countries and visionary leadership are crucial for the continent's development. The umbrella Genocide Survivors Organization, IWUKA, has noted that because the international residual mechanism for criminal tribunals is now no longer actively seeking the masterminds of the genocide against the Tutsi to bring them to justice. My name is Olive Nete. Welcome to the English News in details. And then we'll start by saying that the Prime Minister of Rwanda, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, highlighted that the increased cooperation among African countries and visionary leadership are crucial for the continent's development. He noted that when leaders present better future options for their countries, Africa can achieve greater progress. Various investors on the continent also pledged their contribution to work closely together to expand their markets. We have more. During the Africa CEOs Forum, participants had the opportunity to engage in discussions, share ideas, and network. They showcased their businesses and services, often meeting potential customers in the process. Abubakar Omar Adi, the chairman of Djibouti Ports and Free Zones Authority and Great Horn Investment Holding, emphasized the importance of expanding cooperation with more African countries. He noted that despite existing partnerships, there are still many untapped business and investment opportunities across the continent.
Africa is on the middle of the planet. I want to say and repeat again and again. Anyone can tell you, the world is a globe. I mentioned sea air cargo. Sea air. But the planes are going empty. We want to buy cargoes from Rwanda. Fruits, vegetables, any kind of cargo.
The Rwanda airline transport company, Rwanda, is expanding its flights to various destinations. The company also participated in discussions aimed at increasing investment in African countries and beyond. Bosco Gakwaya, Rwanda's senior manager of cargo services, emphasized the importance of enhancing cooperation with countries such as Djibouti.
We want to work with them. There are currently ongoing discussions with other related institutions, be it Minocofin and also the private sector. We are reviewing how people can access commodities they want here without waiting. Often people procure their goods from the UAE, leading to increased costs due to repackaging. Therefore, we aim to establish a direct route from Djibouti to Rwanda, facilitating easier access to commodities. We are in talks with Djibouti's leadership to realize this vision, which will benefit both consumers and the private sector. By eliminating the need for repackaging, businesses can sell their commodities more efficiently, ensuring mutual benefits for all stakeholders.
Air transport in Africa is currently not extensively developed, often necessitating routes from countries outside the continent for return journeys. The management of Ivory Jet Services, a provider of private air transport services, emphasizes the need for African countries to foster mutual trust. This, they believe, would facilitate increased movement of people and goods within the continent, ultimately boosting air transport and economic connectivity.
Us being here is a must to also be able to see our different clients, our prospects, but also, while the fact that we are here in Kigali, in Rwanda, for the first time, it opens up also new bridges that we can build from eastern to western, and also us maybe thinking of, in the near future, of opening a new offices here in Rwanda.
During a panel discussion featuring 4 African prime ministers, Rwanda's Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, emphasized the role of African countries in shaping their economic futures. He stressed that making wise decisions in this regard would significantly contribute to the continent's development. The Prime Minister highlighted the importance of collaborating with the private sector to achieve sustainable growth and prosperity across Africa.
Le Rwanda était toujours défenseur de l'intégration économique, que ce soit intégration économique au niveau sous-régional comme
Rwanda continues to prioritize regional and continental integration efforts, exemplified by its active participation in initiatives such as the East African Community. Rwanda was among the early signatories of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, underscoring its commitment to fostering the African common market and highlighting the benefits of regional cooperation. As a government, we have demonstrated our openness to collaboration with all stakeholders. An example of this is the resolution of visa issues. Rwanda has removed all visa-related obstacles to facilitate the flow of people, recognizing its importance for business and economic growth.
Le libre mouvement des personnes est très important pour les affaires. Donc c'est comme ça que le gouvernement du Rwanda a décidé de faciliter tout ce qui est visa à l'entrée du Rwanda.
The Africa CEO Forum took place from May 16th to 17th, 2024, attracting over 2,000 participants from 73 countries worldwide. Still speaking about the Africa CEO Forum, the delegates at the just concluded Africa CEO Forum here in Kigali discussed many important issues concerning long-term development in Africa, and our colleague Adam Squizera caught up with one of them to talk about the continent's renewable energy sector. Take a look.
There is a good and bad news about the electrification rate in Africa. The electrification rate in Africa is too low. So this will give us an opportunity to electrify through renewable energy by the time where renewable energy is thriving across the world. This will generate electricity and electrify Africa, plus of course through a clean tech energy. Of course it is a clean energy which provides clean electricity to many people across Africa. This will help protect the climate, of course, to provide access to electricity.
Then I want to ask you, do you think the role of the government are also needed in this journey? Like, what do you think the government should also support you as the private sector in ensuring this?
Of course, the government plays a big role in providing the policies and, of course, access to provide access to private companies to implement projects and everything. But mostly, I believe in this category, the private entities should play a bigger role in bringing the new technology and provide electricity to of course, the people. I believe all African countries should have the same regulation and policy toward renewable energy. They all need to come together in order to. They all need to come together to tackle the climate.
On part of this Africa CEO Forum and annual summit, what are your expectations?
Of course, as I have told you, APTEC operates across 8 African countries. Actually, I'm planning to have a meeting with Rwanda Board Investment to see an opportunity on how we can put a factor for lithium-ion battery. Actually, I have already scheduled a meeting to explore the opportunity of bringing the lithium-ion, which is energy storage solution for renewable energy, to manufacture it here in Rwanda.
On part of this Africa CEO Forum and annual summit, what are your expectations?
To meet the key decision makers across Africa, to understand to meet the key decision makers in Africa, of course, to expand my network as everyone who is playing a bigger role in thriving African economies here in Rwanda. So it's a great opportunity for me to expand my networking and then understanding the economy.
To more news, the Umbrella Genocide Survivors Organization, IWUKA, has noted that because the International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals is now no longer actively seeking the masterminds of the genocide against the Tutsi to bring them to justice, The task now falls on countries harboring such fugitives. This follows the confirmation by the IRMCT that the genocide suspects Charles Sikugabo and Charles Dijandikayo are no longer alive, the last two individuals that the mechanism had been seeking. Investigations revealed that both died back in 1998, with the former passing away in Chad and the latter in Kinshasa of the DRC. Of the original list of 93 masterminds of the genocide against the Tutsi that the ICTR was pursuing when it closed its doors, 8 still remained at large, which arrests later made like those of Felicien Kabuga in Paris and Fulgence Kayishema in South Africa. Other fugitives known to have died while on the run include Prote Miranya, Augustin Bizimana, Phineas Munyarugarama, and Alois Ndimbati. To other matters, the tragedy of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi that Rwanda endured was enough to ensure that the country never recovered and her people remained divided for an indefinite period of time. But that is not what happened, because against all odds, Rwandans were able to reconcile, and this is the most evident among people. François Xavier Ngarambe, whose parents and other family members were killed with the participation of Innocent Bucyana, who later sought for forgiveness and was forgiven. Like many other Rwandans, the two men refused to be held back by the past and now live in harmony, despite what transpired between them. It was, however, not an easy process for the two men, but they understood that for the sake of the future, it had to be done nevertheless, and they did eventually achieve unity and reconciliation after a journey of 5 years actively pursuing it. So that what they achieved is never forgotten, a tree of peace was planted in their home district of Kicukiro as a lasting reminder for future generations. Workers and management of Amekiko Law Factory visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi, and during their visit, the youth employed at this factory pledged to uphold the unity of Rwandans. The workers and management of Amekiko Law, a Rwandan company that manufactures coating paint and varnish, visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi. During their visit, they learned about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi and also laid wreaths on the graves where more than 250,000 victims are buried, paying tribute to those who lost their lives. Jacques Rusirare, the chief executive officer of Amekiko Law, emphasized the importance of commemoration for the youth. He stressed that understanding the history of the genocide against the Tutsi is essential for young people to help prevent such atrocities from recurring. Rusirare urged the youth to actively fight genocide ideologies and promote unity. After learning about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi, young employers of Amekiko Law Company vowed to uphold the unity of Rwandans. The workers and administration of Amekiko Law Company also participated in various discussions on the contributions Rwandans should make towards building a united Rwanda. A group of gospel artists, pastors, journalists, and music producers came together to commemorate the genocide against the Tutsi. They visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi, where they paid tribute to the victims by laying wreaths on their graves where over 250,000 bodies are buried. During their visit to the memorial, the group visited different of the memorial parts and learned about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi. They were encouraged to actively engage in combating the ideology of the genocide and contribute to building the country. These artists also took a moment to reflect on the lives lost, honoring the memory and reaffirming their commitment to promoting peace and unity in Rwanda through their career.
Part of All Gospel, which is a team that gathers pastors, singers, and journalists who are in the Christian environment, and it started with an idea of a concert that I'm actually going to hold on June 2nd at CLA in Nyarutarama, and the theme of the concert is transformation. So as a member of All Gospel, I said, since All Gospel already gathers people from different churches, what if we actually live out what we say, what we talk about transformation, and impact the community. That's how the idea of coming to the Genocide Memorial started, because we think that the church and the Christian artists and everyone who is involved there needs to rethink our role in the process of rebuilding and reconciliation and peace building.
Who are we transforming? What are we transforming? And this is based on the history of the religion during the genocide against Tutsi in 1994. So what was the role of the religion during the genocide? So today we are here talking about transformation. Who are we transforming? At the beginning, us as a servant of God, us as pastors, us as leaders of churches. What are we doing to transform so that this will never happen again in Rwanda?
On Saturday, the Anglican Church of Rwanda, parish of Kacyiru, held the 30th commemoration ceremony of the genocide against the Tutsi. Church leaders and congregants visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi, where they learned about the history of the genocide and reflected on the resilience and unity of Rwandans in its aftermath. During their visit, the church leadership and members laid wreaths on the graves where over 250,000 Tutsi victims are buried. Taking time to honor and remember those who were killed, Archbishop Dr. Laurent Banda of the Anglican Church of Rwanda emphasized the importance of commemoration.
The message I would like to give is that remembering is a very important word in the scripture. And as we remember, we also want to be innovative, we want to be creative, we want to rebuild our lives, we want to rebuild our country, we want to remember and rebuild, but also unite. We wanted to be reminded of the love of God and the fact that we are created in God's image and the fact that we are one, and so that we can strive to keep that unity, that we can strive to give God glory for where He has brought us from to where we are, and to protect what God has given us, and to thank God for our leadership that has brought us to where we are today, to thank God for the peace, for the unity that we have in this country, to thank God for how God's love has been manifested to us in many different ways. And one way that He has manifested to us is how He has used His people, our children, our youth, our Rwandan people, to rebuild this country to where it is today. And so we should cherish that, but still we wanted to comfort those that lost their loved ones during the genocide against Tutsi. We want to comfort all Rwandans. We want to comfort ourselves. But we also wanted to challenge each other to continue to live and to desire to live and to desire to be united and to desire to guard jealously what God has given us in this country.
And on behalf of the technical and news production team, thank you for being part of our news today. See you next.